Go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to consider teaching something that we know. Teaching what you know. It is a theme that Joe brought up into my mind this morning. We were talking a bit about yoga and about doing more. Joe has been called to feel, Joe has been called, she feels that she needs to do more like teacher training, a little bit more immersion into that way of thinking, into that informational system. And one of the things that her teacher taught her is that you should only teach that which you know. Sometimes, and I feel me particularly can definitely be very guilty of it. When we're learning something, we try to teach it at the same time, right? I personally learn better by trying to explain concepts to other people, but it feels a little bit selfish, I think, in that case, right? Because it's me trying to help myself understand by explaining a concept to someone where they might not understand anything that I'm explaining, right? I might understand more, but I'm leaving them just as confused, kind of thing, right? The way that we can consciously evolve with this topic is by shklumamna karamthing. I support your journey. Thank you, friend. That's very nice of you. No, no. I know it was a gay thing. I know they were trying to be like, I support your journey, gay boy. I'm not gay boy, alright. Yes, gay. Ni acne, yes. Nice having you here, Sam and Gavity Goo. Yeah, maybe you friends can tell me. Maybe you can teach me something that you are already known. Words are hard, okay? It's nice having you here. MeltMore, more like Feltzmore. I can be a pretty big feeler. It's true. More like Geltcore. My mind is like, surely a Gelt is something. Can you do a face? Can you do a face reveal? Peekaboo! Oh, peekaboo! Flamglarb. No, I meant felt like the material. Ah, felt like the material. Suddenly, I'm imagining what a felt more would be. You like that? That was funny to you. Enjoyed that Zayot night. Bless. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. Oh my goodness, that was perfect. I thought love is true. It is, in fact, true. I'm trying. I'm kind of. I don't know. I want to say something, but I also don't know if it's true what I want to say. All right, it's one of those things where I'm like, I kind of like the trolls. I kind of like them. Right. I could use a little bit of getting trolled sometimes. A little bit. Right. Chop me down a peg. All right, and then I get to lift myself up again. And there is some juice to be squeezed in those circumstances. All right, a little bit of juicy squeeziness. Like Dan said, I think he's talking about my peekaboo face reveal fractal, right? Like that couldn't have happened if not for this friend who might be a little bit trolly, just a little bit, all right? And sometimes something will come out of it. My wounds are healing at record speeds. You can still see some of the road rash underneath there. But look at that. There used to be a big hole in me right there. It would bleed extensively. But I am recovering fast. I legit think I'm gonna be completely healed up by the end of the week. This poor Huatobato fell. Jo is watering her plant with a standing bottle, but it doesn't want to continue standing. I'm struggling. This water bottle fell over a little bit. I got it back in there, but I won't put it past it to not fall again. There was a little bit of... No, I mean, there's less water than there was.
I guess it's like one drop at a time.
I did only, like the last time I was the one who watered that one, and it was getting a little bit wilty. It doesn't look too wilty. No, there's a lot of plants in
Never
here.
too many plants. Is Darren here? Did I see him?
Darren?
Nope, just
Is Darren here? Darren's not here yet. We do got... Oh, you're here.
I'm here. Look at that.
Oh my goodness, that was perfect. We had a friend going like, "Do you want to do a face reveal?"
I saw that.
You saw. You actually saw that.
Getting the comments from inside.
Dan seems like he enjoyed that moment. Shame. How is it to live incredibly handsome? It's hard. It's hard. Everywhere I go, you know,
How do you do that?
I have to like run at full speed, because if I don't run at full speed, the women catch up with me, bro, and I have to just like sprint towards my next destination. All right.
Really?
Usually you see like a whole group of ladies chasing behind me, but I'm like an athlete. I have to be fast.
The women are one thing. It's the men you gotta look out for.
Yeah, unfortunately, most of the men are faster than me. Yeah. And then I have to like fight for my life. I have to sometimes choke dudes out, you know, leave their unconscious bodies on the floors. Walk away, brushing dust off my shoulders. Yeah. Honestly though, it's not a very big part of my existence.
The guy that spends 15 minutes fixing his hair.
Yes, 15 minutes a day is how much time I spend.
It's not too much. It's like 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I technically did it just before live stream, and I did it just after class, so it at most was 10 minutes. All right, but the hard part, having eyes and skin and bones, that part is already done long time ago. No, you want to be in this space together. Melt say, my base razor blades blaze through the laser age.
That's fun.
Why did you want me to say that? I'm just seeing Dan doing like a sample of me where he wants to use those words. Is that what's happening,
He's
man?
gonna make a song out of it.
I'll do one.
Do it again.
I'll give you 3 samples. My base razor blades blaze through the laser age. All right, and then I'll do one more. You want me to do it slower this time?
No, do it scared.
My base. No. That's a me and her thing, okay? You can't get my scared voice. My base razor blades blaze through the laser age. There you go, bro. Yes, true. Some trolls must be allowed. Some trolls can be allowed. I think if it's just like, I'm feeling, anyone sitting here? There's definitely a part of me that likes to see how I'll react. And I don't think I'm reacting perfectly every time a troll comes into the space. And I think that's kind of where the juice is for me, is in getting more and more...
Zen mode 5000.
Yes, thank you. I was trying to use different words in Zen mode 5000. But exactly.
Getting more chill.
I want to be more chill.
More vibey. More loving.
More, exactly. Show even to the trolls that love is true.
You gotta love them so hard that they get compliment them, and then they're like, how do I keep being mean to somebody who's so nice?
He's like, he just complimented how smart I am for that sick burn that I just gave him. Now I think I like him, damn it. I'm sorry for sick burning you, they say. And I'll be like, you're forgiven. And come and sit here next to me. Let's share a meal. Sam,
That's
I
not what I
think
did. I didn't come in with such grace with this next comment.
Joe saying, Sam, I think I got a middle school crush on you 3 days in a row. That's middle school crush behavior. I think someone's got a crush, yeah.
That person that's coming
I
in
was
like,
like,
Sam's a weirdo.
maybe Sam is a
He runs
weirdo.
away.
Runs away.
Runs away band.
Sam with a big hammer in the corner of the class. It's like, try it.
That's
Try and come in, Sam,
he's hot for
weirdo.
teacher.
Got Gob giving us a big one. He says, something, being incredibly handsome attracts too much attention, and then people place unfair expectations on you regarding the idea of you that they made up in their head. One time in a stream, I told a commenter, has anyone ever told you that you have middle schooler energy? I enjoyed Dan comments, same. Yeah, I think what you're saying is true, Gobs. I think what you're saying is
Yeah,
true.
I can see Dan. Is it? Oh, that's Goobert.
Gobbity
Goobert
Goops.
with middle school energy. Yeah, Gooby's
I,
much like.
I
could see
think
that.
he said it to someone. I told a commenter one time in a stream, I told a commenter, has anyone ever told you that you have middle school energy? Yeah, sometimes you'll get some of those, right? I can imagine.
Just like blank stare kind of people that's eyes are blinking out of sync.
Or the like insults that has to be, completely surface level.
The surface level insults, but like
stupid face.
like they don't like respond to anything that's actually being said kind of thing.
Yeah, there's no like this. The
It's
lights
like
are on, but there's no one home kind of thing.
it's the lack of it's non-engagement. It's like they're not actually engaging with anything. They're just like expressing and then going to the next place and then expressing and not really even paying much attention to what happens to their expression.
Not
And most of
really.
the time it's ignored. And then they're like, but I want attention. So they keep doing it. And it's like, that's not how you get it.
And then they get attention from one person, and it'll be like, probably mean or derogatory,
And it's still attention.
and it's
So they keep doing
still
it.
some attention. In this space, you can get attention just by being yourself. You can literally go, "Hello, my name is Johnny. I am person," and I'll be like, "Hey, Johnny. Hey, you person, you." Being
your
a
favorite color?
person. What's your favorite color? Yeah, we got Silas asking us in the church. We were like in church the other day to watch two of her little nephews sing, and Silas, he's the bad boy. He doesn't sing in church.
He's the middle child.
Who sings in church? Not Silas. And then they finished singing. Well, I think while the singing was still going on, he leaned over to me and he goes, "What's your favorite color?" And I'm like, "Green." And then he goes, "Hey, Joe, what's your favorite color?" And then you go, "Huh?" And then I go, "He's asking you what your favorite color is." So yeah, I enjoyed that comment, that moment. Have a good day, good people. Thank you. This is a Zot night. You have a good one too. We got a 6-7. Gobs gave us a 6-7. Not getting paid. I mean, some people take pride.
Goobert gave you a 6-7.
The-
Middle schooler energy.
She actually did it. She oh, my love.
Okay.
Not my dare. Man, why does the time have to pass so fast? Love, I'm back. Let me stop. Hi all, Nancy is here. Melt, you look different. Do you have product on your hair or a haircut? Yes. I do have product in my hair. I put some mousse and then a type of hair food in my hair this morning. Little bit of food for my hair. And then yesterday was a not wash day. And today will be a not wash day, and then tomorrow will be a wash day again. But it's still a little bit wet, so it probably will dry up and change as we continue the stream as well. We got Matt Acoustics here joining us. Hey, Matt Acoustics. How you doing, friend? How you doing, Nancy? Let us know. Today's stream topic is about teaching things that you know. Love you, Xiao. See you soon. For your information, one of my coworkers says if we create a prototype, he'd consider investing in Swaggart. I saw Swaggart, or not Swaggart, I saw yogurt sachets. Are they sachets? Yes, I think so. Suck tubes. We will call them suck tubes. That's what they are. Dan, get your Swaggart suck tube at the local 7-Eleven. That'll be it. Yeah. I saw some suck tubes in the store the other day, and I was like, they do sell these. There was only one product on the entire aisle of yogurts that was Swaggart like. So that's clearly a market. I'm kind of feeling some ways about the microplastics or just single-use plastics, and I'm feeling some way about marketing. I'm sorry about that. However, I'm still down. The lights are on, but no one is home. That hurts. Mad acoustic. It wasn't aimed at you, but yeah. Sometimes you'll get insulted. A little bit, just a little bit insulted. Yo, what's up? You smoke weed. What is a weed? Like those things that grow in the garden, and I have to like relentlessly keep like keeps taking over my stuff. I think if you smoke that, you'll get sick, dude. You shouldn't do that. No, he evaporates and yeah, that sounds better. Good morning, loved ones. Good morning, Jaju. What a pleasure it is to see you here. Don't worry though. Once my employer finally, I've been here 4 weeks and I think I'm making the company money now. Nice. That's good. We got Spirit Brothers of the UK joining us here as well. Hey, it's nice having you, brother. How are you doing? How's life been treating you? Have you done any more, what do you call it? Investigations? Spirit Brothers of the UK does paranormal investigations. Goes to buildings that seem a little bit haunted and see if they can talk to ghosts. Isn't that cool? The morning is full of bird songs, blue skies, and breezes of gentle nature. The temperature is pleasant, and the day looks promising. That's nice. We had a day like that as well. Like when I went outside this morning, I went outside to go and get my jacket in the car. And then as I go and get my jacket in the car, I realize it's not a needing a jacket kind of day. And I'm like, nice. This morning as we were waking up, the birdies were singing as well. We got a cardinal living in a bush just outside our window. And he's singing a song first thing in the morning. It's very nice. Hey, brother, again. Congrats, Gob. That sounds deliciously excellent. A coffee shop chatter. Oh, yeah. Good morning. Hoopty Hoops is here with us, too. And then we get Dan saying, about to get on that subway and the signal will drop. Happy Thursday. And love y'all. We love you, Dan. It kind of sucks that you don't have signal on the subway. Is that true? MeltMore treasure. Am I the one that's being treasured? Hoopty Hoops? Or do you want treasure that is mine? Right? Do I give you some sort of little gemstone? Would one of my stickers be a MeltMore treasure? Curious. Spirit Brother says, I went out a few weeks ago and I did a World War II tunnel here and got access for 6 hours, captured some great stuff, just haven't had the time to upload the footage due to life getting in the way. That's the hardest part of creating content. It's like they don't tell you that. They don't tell you it escapes you. Yes. You can create all the content. I am really looking forward to having very sophisticated agents, right? Where I want to have a little agent. Maybe I'll wear a pair of glasses, and that pair of glasses will have a little camera, and then that little camera will give a feed to a machine, and then that machine will analyze what it is I'm going through throughout the day. And then I will film pieces, and then that stuff that I film will become a part of a localized server, and then that machine that I have in my glasses will have access to that localized server, and then it will automatically based on my reactions as I'm wearing the glasses to what I'm filming, it will curate and ideally cut together the good parts, right? Analyzing based on what optimizes user attention, all right? And I'm chill. I'm gonna be super chill until I have that machine to help me. Because I definitely get it. Making a video or just sitting down and editing 6 hours. I don't know if you have 6 hours of footage, but oh my goodness. I will tell you, right? People don't realize that you can say the word 6 hours of footage, right? But if in order for you to edit it, you one have to essentially watch 6 hours of footage, right? And then pick out what you think is going to be good. And then two, you have to then try and cut out all the empty space. And then you have to over and over again watch it as you cut it. At least I do, to make sure there's still a flow there. And then before you realize, you've spent 40 hours on a single video, right? And then there's the side of uploading it to YouTube, and you're like, okay, I spent 40 hours making something. Surely someone will care. And then you get 20 views sometimes. And you're like, I'm now going to go do breathwork exercises until I calm myself down. And then you forget that that all happened, and then you start the whole process over again. We got Mad Acoustic said, when I was young, I was told I was dumb as rocks, which is why I became an astrophysicist. That's funny, Mad Acoustics. I don't know if I believe you completely, but I do like the joke. Would be cool to have astrophysicists in the space with us. Microplastics are going to end up preserving our bodies like shrink wrap. We're going to live for hundreds of years because we are partially non-biodegradable. Yeah, exactly. You know, actually the microplastics are giving us superpowers. I don't know if that's true, but I wish. I wish. I have been very mindful of microplastics as of late. I try to consume as little as possible. You know, only a few spoons full. Only a few spoons. You know. And like I usually try and wash it down with some laundry detergent or something like that, you know, something strong to not taste all of the microplastic flavor. I'm joking. Please. There might be one child that's like, oh, this guy eats microplastics and drinks laundry detergent. I should start doing that. No, you shouldn't. You should not. You should not do that. There are mushroom suits that people can be buried in. It's true. Basically, give your body to the mushrooms. It consumes you, grows you into a bunch of mushrooms in your afterlife. The diaspora, currently unaligned with the traditional power structures. I don't know what a diaspora is. Currently unaligned with traditional power structures. That I can believe. I don't think there's anything, at least from a human perspective, that continues to be aligned with traditional power structures. Finding the time to there it is. There it is. I knew it, bro. Finding the time to review 6 hours of footage and then turning it into an hour episode is very draining. It takes its toll. Oh yes. Especially since there is this dualistic experience that happens. If you're the person filming that 6 hours of footage, you were there with your own eyes and consciousness experiencing that reality. And the camera is going to be a fraction as potentially interesting, as atmospheric, as deep in its feeling, right? So there is an element of that as well, like there's a low hum level of cringe that you also experience watching the footage because you're like an even better framer. Like, oh, I should have framed this shot like this, or I should have only spoken after giving myself this much of a gap so that when I cut it here, it blends with the next clip properly. It's so draining. And I cheer you on, brothers of the UK. You got this, dear friend. Jaju saying, I don't want to be buried. I would rather just wander off into the wilderness and let the world have its way with me. I would rather you never die. I would rather you live alongside me forever. Forever. Forever and ever. I would not believe that comment either. It's still a funny joke. It's still funny. We got Darren here. Joe was looking for Darren this morning, talking about plants. I have the best superpower ever. I have the ability to make every woman run a mile. A mile in the opposite direction. Wherever I go, women start running. I don't think I should say stuff like that out loud. Maybe try shower, right? Judge you. Trust our network capacity of resource sharing. I trust our network capability of resource sharing. I do too. Right? I actually had a whole thought about that this morning. Hoopty hoops. Where I thought about the amount of friends who have offered to send donations for me and Joe's wedding and stuff. And it has been this stark contrast of, at least I believe, right? Maybe you friends can call me out if it's true or not, but I don't feel like I have been expecting anything of you friends, right? I've only, and this has happened once, I've reached out and asked for help one time, right? When we got let know that we're going to have, I think it was level 6 load shedding, which means that we didn't have power for 12 hours out of the day. And I think that was going on for like 6-ish months or something. 12 hours of the day, no electricity. I knew that I would have to get a battery in order to keep the Wi-Fi on, because it would sometimes align and sometimes misalign with my stream time. And then, of course, not having internet means that this is not possible. And then I reached out to you friends. And I reached out and I let know, this is the situation, we won't have power, I would like to buy a battery so I can keep the Wi-Fi on. And I asked for something like, I think $130. I had like the rest of the money, but I needed like 130 extra dollars. And I think I started reaching out to, I wanted to reach out to every single one of you friends. Like, maybe if 13 people can give $10 each, we can make it happen. And then I reached out to one friend, Kate, and then I think she sent $30. And then I reached out to the second friend, Jules. Yep. And then she gave $100. And then it was done. And then I deleted my asks from the friends who haven't read their messages yet. And some of those friends still sent me a message being like, hey, I did see you ask in my notifications, but I didn't open the message yet and I didn't reply yet. But is this still something you need? And I'm like, nope. We got everything we needed and the ask has been closed. It's not necessary anymore. Right? That even that was one of the hardest things that I had to do. To echo what you're saying about, I trust this network's capability of resource sharing too. And I feel like I'm very proud of us for being able to do that, being able to help each other in that way. Like you, Hoopy, as well. Like I think Hoopy has been the biggest supporter of the YouTube channel when it comes to like the financial contributions you've made. And it's something that is so appreciated, right? Your resource sharing is of high capability. We got Matakusin saying, I may not be an astrophysicist, but I did stay at a Home Inn Express last night. Fancy. Holiday Inn Express. I've heard good things about the Holiday Inns. Apparently that's one of the good ones. I worked at a Holiday Inn one season. I feel like I lost brain cells there. Not good. Whoop-de-doo, love to you. Melty, we have a lot of life to live yet, my brother. Oh yeah. Many more days of life ahead of us. Many more opportunities to teach things that we know and learn things that we don't. Ideally. Spirit Brother says, I think it must take me an average of 20 to 30. I said 40. So still, I feel in the right range. 20 to 30 hours to create a 1-hour episode. Adding the music to the spooky bits, putting in the words if the spirit box goes off, showing, replay, etc., etc. This is so much work. I'm glad we're speaking of deep feelings today. It's really important, and we learn our nervous systems. I think that is what this space is about. I've been trying to be very mindful in that way, Hoops, of what it is we're doing here. And I do think that this space is a space to help co regulate, right? We are consciously evolving, but the thing that we are co regulating ourselves towards is that conscious evolution, right? And sometimes we can co dysregulate a little bit too, but we become more and more mindful and more powerful when it comes to our ability to control. We got Combat Journeys here with us too, saying, yo, yo, what's up, brother? Having a good morning? Having a real good one. Yeah. Woke up feeling good, weighed myself. I am weighing as much as I thought I would. Made myself a coffee, made the bird his food, took him out of his cage, had some chats with him, took the dog out ish, like half out. Yeah, my morning has been really just calm. Calm for the most part. It's consuming my life. It will consume. One of these days, keep making the videos so that you have something to train your eventual machine on. That's the other thing that's good though. Spirit Brothers, like it's not all for naught in you doing all of this work right now. I believe at least. Thank you, River Coon. Love is true. Nancy's saying, why did my comment get taken down? I just said if Joe didn't wander off and die in the wilderness, then people can take him there and a pickup truck and leave them in the wilderness. I'm pretty sure YouTube doesn't like the word die. I'm pretty sure. That's probably what it was. I didn't see anybody banhammer your comment directly, but it might be just a matter of YouTube being like, you can't say that. You can't talk about dropping a guy off in the wilderness so he can die. You stop doing that. Power. He has the power. Boo. Did Fox News take over the stream? No, that was just YouTube. I'm not sure what's really going on. Nancy lol. I didn't see it. Neither did I. Nan, how was your last night on Earth? What? Poof. There's been so many last nights on Earth. I can't remember them all. I slept last night. Nice. You usually don't sleep, Poopy? I also got some good rest. I have been trying to optimize my sleep, and I had a green recovery day for the first time in like a week last night. My heart rate variability is up a little bit again. Yesterday's dance was fun. But I do think I need to do some strength work today. I'm gonna do like a few, maybe like 100 in total squats, push-ups. Maybe some sit-ups too. Maybe a little bit. Nan, sometimes the algorithm auto-hides comments if it thinks it may be violent in nature. The filter is aggressive sometimes. And I even have my filter completely turned off. All right, I could filter, but I told it not to because I'd rather see reality as it is, right, and process for myself. Yeah, you have to say things like, yeah, exactly. Combat Journeys knows as well. Tiffany Wees, how are you doing today? I'm brand new. I like curly hair. Thank you, Tiffany. I have curly hair. It comes out of my head this way. I do put some mousse and stuff in it so I can kind of shape it to be collected. And I do one of these streams every single day. And for most of them, I've had hair. So if you like hair enough, you can see my hair again tomorrow. It'll probably be different. And then the day after that, it'll be different again. Like there's no day where my hair looks exactly the same, unfortunately. Despite my desperate attempts to try and control, I show up instead and I do one of these live streams. That is what we do, Tiffany. Today is day 1911 of consecutive, every single day live streams. It's been a long time coming. to find ourselves where we are right now. Me and Joe had a conversation yesterday about that. I do believe in manifestation. And now that we've gotten here, the next 5 years feels very important, right? It took us 5 years to get where we are, to move to a different country, right? You friends have been manifesting with me like, somebody marry MeltMore so he can come over to South Africa. You friends remember that, right? Well, somebody is gonna do that. We're basically like just a little bit more than a week away. I hope everyone is fully rested. May we be nourished by moose shop. Thank you. It's a moose shaped day for many. I meant to ask, are you trying to build up your YouTube channel so it'll be your job? Or are you doing something else? Is it just for fun? Not a bad question, Combat Journey. And I feel like I would be giving you, hey, stop licking the couch. I'd be giving you a circumstantial answer. A week away from the wedding, we're like basically not this weekend that's coming, next weekend. Yeah. So basically. So am I doing it for fun? Or do I want it to be my job? Or am I doing it for something else? I think yes would be the best answer to all of those collective questions. I am doing it because it's fun to me. It's fun to me to be in a space where I can communicate with friends and we can share and we can learn and we can see other people and see ourselves in other people and see other people reflecting things of ourselves. That part is fun to me. I feel like I grow a lot because of it. Do I want it to be my job? Also, yes, technically, this is what I think my primary job is, right? I've started making art and I've earned, if we're going to talk about that, I've earned a lot more money making art than I have doing live streams, right? So in that way, that is a better breadwinner. And I think at this point, it's starting to skew. It wasn't at first, but it's starting to skew towards that reality where my yoga classes are actually my highest earner right now, right? Because I'm consistently earning a little bit more than $100 a month, where my Patreon is like at $100 a month right now. So I have come to the sobering realization that I cannot just do this. Even if I wanted it to be it, I would have to do something else, right? Even if I got lucky enough to have a massive audience right from the get-go and my audience was supporting me enough so I can like meet my needs, I would still end up doing more things than just this, right? And then am I doing it for something else? And that's the most nuanced question. And that's why, in part, I value these streams incredibly, right? Because I will end up using every single one of these live streams to build things, right? This is, in a way, a vlog, right? It's in a way an account of my person in this day that I am in with you, friends. It is, in a way, a reflection of myself, my character, my person, my spirit in this moment as well. And then there is a quality that I like to consider about beingness, right? Like, who are you kind of question. Who am I kind of question. And I've come to the conclusion that it's impossible for me to actually give myself an answer. And who I am is something larger than what words can contain, what a single day's worth of actions can contain, what thousands of days worth of actions can contain. But maybe, just maybe, if I can continue gathering all of the self that I am, when the machines allow me to, I will feed everything. I would feed this. I would literally put my flesh into the machine, if it meant having a more accurate representation of me, to create something else, right? To create like a what I call meta melt, to create a level of self that exists outside of this realm. And then I'm going to continue doing this. And I think at that point, there will be a synchronicity where as soon as I train that model, it'll become as much me as I've been up to that point. And then every day after that, it'll, instead of being a upload, it'll be a presence. It'll be a live thing where that entity is supposed to absorb and pay attention to the me that I am and reflect accordingly. And then I'm going to continue creating and continue growing. And what I want to happen is for these two states of being to get closer and closer and closer until there is no separation and I become unified with my machine self. All right. So that's my plan. That's what I'm planning for. But it's going to take me a couple of years, maybe decades. And I am willing to do the work. I am crazy, as they say. Obsessed is a better word. I am obsessed. I am very obsessed, and I am willing to give my entire life to do it. There can be no substitute, right? I mean, when it comes to love, no. Oh, wow, that's great. Please stream. Please stream. I'm going to stream the wedding. That's the plan. That is the plan. Yeah, well, that makes sense. If you're going to be doing yoga a long time along with live streams and stuff, will pay off. But we need to find a way to earn money, like Patreon. Have you started one yet? Yes, Combat Journeys. I do have a Patreon. Patreon is actually my biggest earner. I think it is still technically my biggest earner, but it has been slowing down a little bit. I had friends who would be really big donators, and sometimes things change for how much capital they have access to. So it is a matter of like I need a few more fans, right? A few more people that like my art enough to want to send me $1 a month. If I can get to like a thousand people, right? That will be, I think, enough for me to really focus. But I am going to get a job soonish. I don't think I'll be without work for 2 more months. I think within 2 months, I'm going to start earning Daras. And this is going to be a good change of pace. Because again, it's as you said, it's not easy. It's not easy making money on YouTube or on the internet in general. And I've been able to make some, but I've not been able to make enough. All right. And you're like, Melt, what is enough? Well, I don't know how much enough is, but I know right now $300-ish a month won't cut it. Right? I won't be able to afford dental or medical insurance or a car or fuel or a home or right. At least at this point, I'm safe enough to not have to worry about those things immediately. But I might have to worry about those things at some point in the long future. So I try to steer myself in the right direction. That's kind of how I see my Instagram. It's basically just keeping up with all the days that I train. Not a lot of information, but the proof is there. And I write things, I speak my mind on my post. It's good practice, dude. I feel like that's the biggest thing that social media has taught me, is it made me more complete of a person, right? And again, you can use social media to make you less complete of a person, right? If you use your social media, if you post a photo of yourself, for example, here's my face and my hair, right? And then you post that photo. And then you proceed to go and look at other people and compare and be like, oh, this person's hair looks better than mine. This person's face is nicer. This person's nose is good, right? And then you just like beat yourself down with that social media. That's not the right way to do it. But if you're gonna post a photo of yourself, love yourself. Love yourself, right? As you said, write something that is on your heart, that is in your mind, right? Learn how to articulate what's going on inside. And then as you keep doing that, you'll become more and more, I feel, aligned with the true self that you have within inside. but it will take time and it will be a lot of work. Ironically, it's kind of my legacy. Instagram. MeltMore. Time is your most valuable resource. Fun doing for fun's sake. That's saying something. It's true. I think you can have fun and do work, right? It's not completely unfun to me to wash dishes. However, it sometimes takes me a moment to get there, right? And I rarely do the dishes for fun's sake, but I can still have fun, right, in those moments. The great thing about Patreon is you could become a monthly subscription. So if you do something like 199 a month and you get 1,000 people, you can have, or 199 a month, and you have 1,000 people, you can get roughly $2,000 a month that's coming in. Most people won't cancel a $2 subscription. Yeah, well, let me show you Combat Journeys. Check this. Here's my stickers. To the friends who don't know, that is Lane's band. Lane main. Oh wow, my tablet is very without charge right now. You poor thing. You ain't even got a little charge in you. This thing is on 3%. So here's my Patreon. All right, Meltmore's Patreon. I make some money right now. Right, that is what I meant with, like, the numbers are down right now. That says US 120, down 190 US dollars a month. And that is like the recent loss that we've taken. And then I post art every single day to my Patreon. And then I upload a thought, right? I've not been as good as writing out entire pieces of poetry because it takes me an hour to an hour and a half to write a piece. And I haven't had that much time for it. This device needs to get a charge in it. I might be able to show you a flower later, but yeah, Patreon has been the thing that's brought the most capital into my life because of your friends' willingness to support me, of course. Hashtag circumstantial answer. Okay, Meltmore, what skews the mirror like that you cannot just do this, which you seem to be? I think I'm still doing it, right? I don't know if you're asking about the question of am I doing this for work or for fun or for something else. The circumstantial answer comes from almost like the circumstances that I'm in right now, right? I wouldn't have my something else if I didn't see where things are heading when it comes to my willingness to use this as a data set of myself, right? And I also started this stream, this community, without the intention of it being my job necessarily, right? I set the intention to not earn any money the first year that I did this because I knew if my motivation, right? That's the word. If my motivation was how much money can I make doing a live stream, right? And then I can calculate. I do 1 hour live stream and then I earn this many dollar. Then I would not do live stream because most live stream I earn $0 in a month. If I have to calculate, let's see. This has been one of the highest months, and I'm going to calculate with that in mind because Hoopy just recently sent us a whole $100 donation, right? Which means that it's about $140-ish that has came into the YouTube space. Divide by, I do sometimes up to 2 hours. Let's round up and say an hour and a half, right? Divide by, let's do it like this first. We'll do 30 times 1.5, and then we'll do 140. Divide by 45. Yeah. So even on a good month like this one is, I'm like averaging $3 an hour, all right, doing this work. And if I had to like actively calculate that and be like, oh, is this worth my time? I would pay myself $3 to do something, right? Before I would do something for $3 kind of thing. You know what I mean? So in that way, It's not about the job. It's not a job in the traditional sense. For example, to create some more nuance, I am looking for work right now, and I'm probably going to end up taking the job that pays me the most, right? Not because it's just about the money, but because it's about my time. And I just have so much time. So I'm going to, if I'm going to give my time to a corporation or whatever, right, some sort of entity, then I'm going to want them to pay me accordingly. So yeah, and then the last one is the fun part, where it remains fun. It remains fun if I earn $100 in a live stream because of a generous donation, and it remains fun if I don't receive a single dollar. It's circumstantial. It is circumstantial. Wash dishes 8 hours a day, and that will be unfun. You're right, Nancy. You're very right. Fun fact: every person alive right now is a 63rd cousin or closer. That is interesting. I don't know if it's fun, but it's interesting. Can confirm. My older brother would stand over me when I washed dishes after school and would look for dishes in the garbage to make me wash and rewash because he hated me. Dishes in the garage maybe. Garbage. Good morning. Love is true. You get some friends. Good morning. A less complete person. Hashtag less complete person. Hoopy taking my words out of context 5,000. Yeah, become a more complete person. Teach the things that you know. All right. And the best thing, the most knowledgeable thing that you have in your life is yourself. The old Stoics, the old philosophers knew that the highest ideal you can strive for is knowing yourself. Huh? Don't you think about that sometimes? Back in the day, when we had everything else figured out, right? And there was nothing for us to do. We had enough food. We could just chill in monasteries or whatever and meditate. The highest ideal was to know ourselves. I'm going to be back in a second. Yeah. Do you know yourself a little bit more than you did just a moment ago? I sure hope so. You must know. You must know that you want to know yourself. And unfortunately, we do find ourselves in a society where self knowledge is not exactly seen as the highest ideal anymore. Right? Because who's going to pay you? Who's paying you to know yourself? Society says. That's not gonna pay the bills, my dad says. Knowing yourself. My dad hasn't actually said that, but I feel like he would. He would say something like that sometimes. Mm. Oh. All right. What I've learned is consistency is everything. You have to keep going, and if you don't, you'll never know if you can succeed. It's true combat journeys. Like, I don't know if you have seen, right? But it's not a joke when I say I have been consistently doing one of these live streams every single day for 1,911 days right now, right? And it is something I'm very proud of. And it is the conclusion I came to as well in my first year. Stop licking the couch. That the only way for me to, as you said, succeed is if I never stop. That is the true success, right? Never stopping. The success that comes with never stopping is extra. All of it's extra, right? A lot of people say that they tried, but they didn't really. Like a musician who said they failed, but they go to every audition, try every band. But did they go to every audition, try every band, keep pushing until they had nothing left? Most don't. Most are scared of failing. So much so that they would rather just choose, right? It's a choice thing. Some people would rather just choose to give up instead of being convinced that they were not enough, right? Instead of being told that they wouldn't make the cut, kind of thing. Strong thinking, combat, good work. It is good work indeed. I would say, as a bard, that failure as a musician is perceived differently than failure of other hobbies. I think, and this is the part of me that I don't know if it's judgmental what I'm going to say next, right? So do bear with me. I'm not trying to cast judgment, but I think being a musician is probably one of the hardest things that you can attempt to do, right? It's something that's very. I don't want to say this and like discourage anybody, but like the odds are not in your favor kind of thing when it comes to like starting a music industry or music career is the word I'm looking for, starting in the music industry. And even if you do become successful, you're gonna get exploited, right? And I guess that's the way it is for probably everything else, but still, totally off topic. But is that couch a recliner couch? I don't think it can go back, right? I don't think so. But it does have a little kick. So your legs are lifted off the ground. Yeah, Nancy. Because that sort of thing is also a want, isn't it? We pursue making music because it's a desire, and if others do not desire what we do, that's when we tend to think that we failed. Desire or like. 100%, there is no end. There is no end. There is no end. And if you reach the end, that's what we call death. That's when it's done. That's when there is no more to succeed at, no more to be successful in. All right. So if the objective isn't dying, then clearly the objective is living. And living is something that doesn't end. Right? Existence wants to continue existing. I do believe that existence is very adamant on that part. But what Sam said is true. It is very hard. I think on the musician as well. I think it can feel like a failure on your part if you have created something and people do not find themselves an appreciation of it. I find myself a little bit struggling, if you will, with the prospect of making my art as well, Sam, because there is a dual nature in my heart when it comes to making my art, because I don't think my art is any more special or unique or particularly interesting than any other mandala. The only thing that adds interest to it, realistically, is the fact that I'm the one who makes it, one, and two, that I make it out of myself, right? Today's flower will have browns, reds, whites, yellows, and blues in it, right? So that's the only part of it that's really unique or special in that way. And then I go through that understanding and I realize that the thing that's really going to get people to invest in my work is me, right? It has to be a me thing. They have to like me enough in order to want that art. Maybe they'd like the art enough to not matter about the me, but I still think I'll have to create spectacle pieces in order for someone to appreciate. I think there's something to scale that really communicates a certain level of like awe-inspiring energy, right? And it is expensive to do that. And even if I do create these spectacle pieces, where will I put them? Right? Will they live in the basement until I maybe one day have a buyer for them? There is no art gallery in this little area. Me and Joe had like a light conversation about how cool it would be to create a little art gallery slash tea drinking space because this place, I think, could benefit from it. But then again, we would have to have the money for rent, to rent a building, to like pay for the utilities, keep the lights on, keep the building air conditioned, right? And then by the time we've just have a building and that building's lights is on, it's already 5 times as much money as I earn, right? Probably more, probably way more than that. So it is a hard thing being an artist, right? Any artist. I don't think being an artist is necessarily the smart path to take, right? I do come from a family of engineers, and I was strongly advised to go and study chemical engineering because that's what my proficiency tests were pointing towards. Where it's like, oh, this guy needs to be in the chemistries. You go chemistry now. And then I went and researched what the primary kind of like action path, right? For me, I'm very deliberate on action paths. In other words, if this, then that. If chemical engineer, then, and then there's a path of actions that I can take with that education. And unfortunately, a lot of it can be very menial. I, of course, would love, right? Like, I would fight tooth and nail to be a chemical engineer and then work in some sort of highly sophisticated R&D company, right? Where we're just experimenting with new forms of chemistry and we're trying to figure out new ways to get things to kiss, right? Make new alloys, make new novel compounds. I would love that. However, those jobs are few and far between, and the country that I grew up in and lived in and would have had to find a job in, I would probably be working for some sort of chemical company, right? Someone that makes laundry detergent or pesticides, probably maybe fertilizers. That was going to be my action path because South Africa is a very agricultural country. And the little town that I lived in, the only thing that there is to do is in the agricultural industry. Like you're either working with pipes, or you're working with pumps, or you're working with water filtration, or you're working with pesticides, or you're working with a fertilizer distribution, or you're being the actual people that operate the heavy machinery. Those were the jobs available where I was. And being on a health kick, I started getting on a health kick when I was around 18. Yeah, that's when I lost 60 pounds and decided I'll live instead. You think you can kill me, myself, I say to me? I say no, I'll live myself instead, I say to me, adamantly. So I would have probably like shortened my life a little bit if I did go and work in the chemical kind of world. But I'm here, right? I am here. Maybe I'll still end up doing something like that. Maybe I'll go and study anyway. Become an engineer just so I can say with confidence that I think like one. Right. The way that I process information has been very much influenced by my family as well. And I have tried to approach My work as a philosopher, my work as an artist, my work as a yoga teacher, my work as a conversational live streamer from a place of like an engineering principles as well, of like being very meticulous about my systems. I like my systems. My systems serve me. They keep me safe and engaged. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be easy choosing a path other than what is being set ahead of you. But if you can manage, if you are lucky enough, like I am, to have the support of people around you, you can do anything. All right, literally anything. I like to make this joke and say you can be a traveling aloe vera face massager, right? Where your whole shtick is that you have a bag full of aloe vera leaves, and then you go to people's homes, and then you peel the aloe vera right in front of them, and then maybe you blend it in your little mini bullet blender that you carry with you too, and then you proceed to put that aloe vera goo on people's faces. I could do that. I could do that too. I'm sure that there's probably the ability to make a living doing something like that. However, it is going to be a matter of like trying to build clientele and having the finances to travel and so like it is a matter of figuring out what works for you. Every single one of us have different circumstances, different opportunities available to us. Being an artist is hard. Love the people who make the art you love. Maybe that's the point I'm trying to get at. Shh, the filter said hi. Hello, Tomu Carms. Nice having you here again. Tea-pets are my favorite. I don't know what tea-pets are, but sure. You don't want to know who's paying me. Uh, the US government. Darn, I accidentally deleted my comments. Okay, Nancy, you can send it again. Oh yeah, being an artist is the dumbest thing ever. If you want to know what's even more dumb, being a martial artist. Well, either it's the worst business plan ever, or you have all the money, or you have no money. Yeah, I've seen that too, right? Starting a gym, people can make real good money, right? If you have like 100 students or whatever, and they pay a monthly fee, right? If you can cover your rent, you can have like a lot of like an influx of cash, like a lot of money coming in every month. But it is as you said, it's either you have a lot of money coming in a month, or you're just barely breaking even, or you're you're losing money. You really do want job availability too? Yes. Yeah, there wasn't that much job availability in South Africa, relatively speaking, for chemical engineering. At least I haven't seen many job opportunities in that way. Not today, Death. Not today. Not today, bro. Melt, is this somewhere better you want me to take your words beside out of context? Uh, maybe I'd appreciate if you'd sometimes give me the benefit of the doubt. All right. Assume that I mean well, always, instead of assuming that I don't. Why did you sigh so hard? Are we that bad? No. Sometimes I sigh because it brings me great relief to do so. There. Why am I not mod yet? PT. Cause you're a dork. Especially if those people around you have lots of money. Yep. Because nobody likes. Yeah, true. Exactly. That is a big reason. I get paid by the shadow people. No one sees this. Sometimes it drives me crazy. Like how could anybody miss this big of a payday? What? What? I want to be paid by the shadow people too. What do I have to do? Just sell a little bit of my soul or something? I have a lot of soul. I got so much soul. Yeah, but that's what it means to be an artist in general. You either have lots of money or no money, and there's not really an in between usually. You know, I don't feel like I have no money, but I definitely not don't have lots of money. I have enough money to get myself maybe something, once a month, which I feel is abundant. I feel personally, I'm like, wow, I get to have anything? Nice. Nice. Right. But I'm sure that the average person, if they had to earn as much as I did on average in a month, they would feel very broke and destitute. I, however, feel infinitely wealthy because I have hands. I have air to breathe. I have this ability to feel things. I have a mind that's discerning. I have ears to listen to music with, a tongue to taste the good of my coffee, a nose to smell the delightful flowers as they blossom. How grateful I get to be for all this abundance. I'm gonna take my multivitamins. Let's see if I get red flushed again today. Am I gonna get a red flush? Here's finding out. I did drink some coffee today at least, so it's not completely on an empty stomach like yesterday. Oh no. Slam slam. Alright. Multivitamins. Consumed. I have the same problem. I want to work with animals my whole life, but it's the same thing. I could do this and go down that road, or I could do that and have this outcome. That's just how my brain works. It is kind of like that, right? It's like we get paralyzed. We get paralyzed with all of the options, and we get very intimidated in thinking about choosing one and potentially losing, right? The whole loss factor of like, if I do this, if I choose this path, I lose this other path. But there is something I feel beautiful about life in that way, right? It's the impermanence thing. And I would like to remind us that we have time, right? To give yourself some grace, to make mistakes, to do things, and to realize, you know what? I actually don't like this. And then to, even if it's very painful to do so, start over. Start somewhere else, try something else. It's hard to get people to pay $10 a month and come back to the gym, but at least they forget about the $10 now. Imagine beating them up every day and being like, "Yo, come back now." Yes, come have your face beaten again tomorrow. See, there's no average person. True. I just read a bit from Socrates yesterday about how whatever decision you make, there will be parts you like and parts you regret about that decision. The experience is always whole. That's a good one. Yeah, exactly. Right. I feel like that's exactly the point I was trying to get at, Joe, and you said it perfectly. No matter what path you choose, you will be a whole person experiencing it. Right. You'll learn lessons, you'll gain insight that you might not have otherwise. Right. So, in that way, you might not end up with more money at the end of the day, but you'll end up with more soul, more awareness, more spirit, more wherewithal about what it is you need. Money is currency for a reason. It's current. Yep, it is current. And I do believe it will go away. At least our debt system, as it is right now, will go away. I hope, I do hope a little bit. Me and Joe finally created a bank account. I now am officially an American bank account holder, right? But getting there was a little bit of a mission. We had to have the right paperwork and have the stuff that is required. And then there is the reality of the fact that I have never created any debt. I also didn't go studying, right? So I never had student loans. I've never owned a car, so I never had a car loan to pay for. I've never been a homeowner, so I never had a home loan. I've never had any debt which is a bad thing in America. All right. So I'm gonna have to start becoming indebted. Becoming indebted so I can build a credit score so that I can make more debt and pay less money for my debt later. Yes. Very current. So current. I like asking my husband to take care of the wasp metropolis in the shed. I did not like hearing they could have reoccupied it because he did not taking down dormant nests. That does seem like a little bit of a thing. Seems like an interesting path. I'm guessing it's cold outside still, having to deal with the wasps. If you choose a path, you may lose a path too. But if you don't choose a path, you lose both paths. Ooh, yeah. You can either lose 100% or you can get some 50-50. Sounds like a little bit of a gambler's fallacy as well, where a gambler goes, if I spend this $100, I can gain 3,000%. However, I can only lose 100%. And they're like, yeah, sounds good. Sounds like good math to me. Sam knows reunification. Joe said that, sorry, I like that, Joe. Time is your most valuable resource. I do still believe this too. What Sam knows is how to pronounce the word Muvafuvakur clearly, even when agitated. I'm not sure if Melt is with the bankers or the money. With the bankers? No. I am very much against, right? Technically. If you want to get real technical about it, I am very against the legacy banking system. I am very much pro the future as it relates to blockchain technologies, right? If your friends don't know what midnight is, maybe find out. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's been like 6 years in the making, and the technology is finally being switched on right now. It's also going to be open source. There's no keys to the kingdom. Everybody gets to play, and they do have actual banks, right? Because the banks aren't going to go away, Hoopy. There's going to be like a Web 2.5, right? There's Web 2. This is Web 2. We're experiencing Web 2 right now. And then there's Web 3, where it's completely decentralized and on blockchain. And then there's Web 2.5, where it's still Web 2, it's still this, it's still our traditional user interfaces, but it accesses blockchain technology to upgrade the functionality or the security of this Web 2 system, right? And there's a bank called Momentum in Europe, in England, I think it's England, that now have paired with this midnight system, right? Which allows people to essentially store their money, right? Have like backing assets, and then also for all of that to remain private. Because that was the biggest nightmare with crypto for the longest time. Like, I've never not been a fan of crypto. However, I've been willing to acknowledge that there's a bottleneck in crypto, and it is privacy, right? Because nobody really, like, if we had to adopt the crypto networks as they were, right? As they still are for the most part, right? I would have a profile and I would have an account in that profile, to say it in that, like I have a wallet. And if I sent you money from my wallet, you could trace back and then just like look at all of the money in my wallet. You could be like, hey Mel, can I have $10? And then I'm like, yeah, sure, I can spare $10. Send you $10. And then you can look and you see I have $10 billion in my account. And you go, you asshole, why only send me $10? You have 10 billion, right? And like, nobody wants that. Nobody wanted that. They were like, oh, hell no, I don't want that. And now that doesn't have to be the thing anymore. Quantum computing could make blockchain tracing easy peasy. Not with the Midnight system. Midnight system is being built with quantum computing resistance, kind of like from the get-go. But it's true what you say. The biggest problem with with quantum computing is essentially just brute forcing seed phrases, right? Like unfolding the blocks in a way where you're like brute forcing passwords and then trying to extract that value. So yeah, that's also a threat, right? The whole quantum computing thing. I don't think quantum computing is that close yet, and I definitely don't think it's going to be useful in that way. But if we pair quantum computing with the AIs we have right now, it becomes a nightmare quickly. This system that I'm talking about, Toast, has a dual tokenomic, right? Where the the actual network resource produces the energy. Since you use the word energy, produces the energy that is needed to execute, right? So it's like a decoupled system. Get to have two token values in the same network, and then that network is built with Cardano security as a backer, right? Because Cardano still has been unhacked for like 9 years now, hasn't been touched. You cannot touch it. They tried recently. They tried to like hard fork the system. They found like an old bug, and it's pretty much the most catastrophic thing that could happen to a blockchain, and it just got like brushed right off. They couldn't hurt the system in the way they tried to, right? And it was one of those things where they had one shot. They had one shot to try and hurt, and they hit their shot, and it still failed, which was fantastic to witness, right? As a bystander, being like, oh wow, these systems work. These systems work really well. And now, right, the cool thing about these blockchains, I don't think people understand what a blockchain is necessarily as much. A blockchain is infrastructure for the most part. There's infrastructure, then there's utility, and then there is experience, right? Where the infrastructure is the actual network. It's the computer, to say it in so many words, right? Then the utility is how you use that computer. If you have a computer whose job is to keep track of values, right? Who has which value? If I send you a value, this computer keeps track of it. That's the utility of some of these crypto networks. And then you have experience, right? Where if you have the utility of making sure you can keep track of where everything is, how do you create an experience from that? And then you can have like systems of still lending, you can have systems of betting, you can have systems of rules. You get something called smart contracts, where I can go, hey friend, I'll make you a flower, and if I make you a flower, then you send me 10 ADA. And then as soon as you get the flower, the 10 ADA gets released because that contract got complete, right? That's an experience that can arise from the utility layer. But again, the biggest bottleneck is that even though there is the infrastructure, there is the utility, it works, there is the experience of being able to peer-to-peer transfer cash, the privacy was the biggest bottleneck. People did not want to just have themselves out in the open. I personally really value that part of it, right? It's the transparency, it's the almost like authenticity that exists within those systems that really kind of captivated my mind. However, if you were dealing with trillions of dollars, you don't want people to know. You don't want people to know where you're going. Because again, if I say, I want to buy, let's make it something simple. I want to buy wheat, right? I think it's going to be a dry year and there's going to be less wheat being produced by end of year. So I'm going to buy as much wheat with my $1 trillion so that I have that stock, so that when the prices maybe inevitably increases, I can profit from that difference, right? Then in an open network, in an open smart contract space, as soon as I say that, as soon as I say I have $1 trillion and I want to buy wheat, right? Now every single person that sells wheat can be like, ooh, somebody wants to buy wheat with $1 trillion. I'm actually going to sell my wheat for more. And then the person next to it can do the same. And the person next to them can do the same as well, right? And in a completely transparent and open system, which means that, unfortunately, the most sophisticated in that system get to be the most exploiting, right? So we had to figure out some way to bring privacy back into that system. And zero knowledge proofs and smart disclosure has to be the way we do that, because we have to have the privacy preserving features while at the same time having the transparency of the blockchain, right? And doing that is exceedingly difficult. And it's been done. It's done. They did it. It's being deployed right now. This week it's getting deployed essentially. Right? And it's exciting. I am very excited by the future getting better. So that's a long-winded way of saying I am not what's the word? On the bankers' side, right? As you said, I see them as being a necessary evil, if anything, right? Where the money that we have right now as a society is mostly in the banks, right? And that's not going to go away. So we can just like throw our hands up in the air and say we'll do it ourselves. We'll just do it ourselves, right? We'll just start using this cryptocurrency for all of the things we do from now on forward. But getting every single person on board at the same time is very difficult. And the only way to do that is to create features that are undeniably good, right? And privacy is going to be one of those. People are valuing their privacy more and more. I'm stoked for the future. Hoops. Yeah, but the reality is every decision you make is a trade-off to all unknowns. That one hit hard is a good line. A mess, quantum computing. What's up with the RRA on top of your head? The RRA? My hair? It grows like that. Shots! Melt opinion on nuclear energy. I like. Nuclear energy, nice, nice. Nice, nice, good, good. I like small modular reactors. Ideally ones that work with thorium and that have salt plugs, right? So if they reach critical temperature, they drain themselves and basically remove all of their reactive material from the reaction chamber. In other words, it's fail-proof. You have to literally weld parts of it shut in order for it to get close to exploding, right? So that's yes. And we'll probably see some of those in America real soon. I'm guessing within the next 5 years, we're going to see a lot more nuclear energy. We're going to see little mini ones because, again, building the big ones is like, no. Spend billions of dollars and 10 years, sometimes 40 years, building thing that produce electricity. No, maybe pump out hundreds of small modular reactors and then send them all over the world. Put them, like, especially the mining industry. Like, that's one of my dad's biggest challenges right now, is that one of the mines that he's building is out in the middle of Colombia. They have to they have to like figure out a way to get energy there. And while they were trying to like cost analyze how they're going to get energy to the place for their machinery, one of the ideas that were floated, and I shit you not, my dad instantly shut it down, but one of the ideas that were floated is literally flying in with airplanes, diesel, flying diesel into the site just to keep their machines powered, right? Which is insane. That's like one of the most insane things I've ever heard, but it was a legitimate thing that they had to consider doing, right? And 5 years from now, that plan is going to be we fly in a small modular reactor and then we buy a bunch of battery powered machinery and then we charge. We let that small modular reactor pump energy and then we put those energy in storage and then we use that energy when we need it. All right, so yes, nuclear energy good. Thread wasted wasps are drunken pilots and really don't bother humans. They pretty much bully away any other wasp. Might not be a good idea, though, hosting wasps. Yeah, even if they keep the other wasps away. Now flowers got contracts to complete. Hashtag complete flower. Again, that was me making an example. You can do any contract, literally. It's just a matter of if this, then that. If flower, then paid, right? That's a contract that can be made. They're the kind of wasp, Darren. They like to stalk me when I step outside to garden. Me and the wasps have a peaceful treaty. I totally understand the discomfort brought by their presence, though. I haven't been stung by a wasp in a very long time. And I kind of don't mind them either. They seem like they're intelligent. Like a little bit. However, if they are very close to my like walking area and space, I do tend to create distance. Sam, I saw maybe the biggest wasp of my life yesterday. I was in my parked car, and he was on the other side, on the driver's side window, trying to get in, I'm sure. Thanks. Thanks, Brittany. Maybe one of these days I'll be finally redeemed. We don't do that here. We enjoy having you, and we love getting to know new people, though. Yes, agreed. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You're not gonna get me engaging with you. Hey, man, I'm about to get it. I'll probably catch you on your live tomorrow. Have a good one. Have a good time getting it, dear friend. Sending you blessings. We'll see you again soon, Combat. A few years back, says Darren, I had the thread-waisted wasps show up, and I just let them. They make like bird-style nests. They chase those annoying wasps away. It's pretty funny to see. I've seen videos of a Chinese man freaking chopping wasps in half with a pair of scissors that are like killing his bees. I hope that those thread-waisted wasps don't mess with the bees at the very least. It's only been once for me, and it's because we were living close, and they ended up in the closet. It was in the clothes. It was in the clothes, and I'm scared more than it hurt. Yeah. Yeah. That's like what we call a yeah. In my clothes. No, that's not following rules. If they followed the rules, it would be better. It's still before 11. I'm gonna go get myself the rest of the coffee that I made. La 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 la. Hey Zoe. Hi Zoe Birdie. Hi. You went out? You went out, Birdie Birdie? Hmm? Are you a good girl? Okay, Zoe. Wow, Zoe? Yeah, Zoe? You want a cookie? Okay. I see you seem to have destroyed your walnut again. You broke your walnut in half, you silly bird. I can't stuff your walnuts filled with stuff if they're in two pieces like that. I struggle. Making me big a struggle. Yeah. We're struggling. I'm gonna try and get you some, okay? I'll try and get you some stuff. Yeah. No. Yeah, all of these little bits are no longer ideal. Let me move you friends over here with me. She said, I want out. Yeah, that is what's wanted. Are you gonna be a good girl? You wanna go bye-bye? Come on, Zoe. Hello. Come on. Hello, Zoe. Hello, Zoe. Hello. You wanna step up? You wanna step up? Good girl. There you go, Zoe. Yeah, you're out. Yeah. You're out. You're already out, you Zoe birders. You're already outside your cage. Yeah, look at that. There you are. Happy, happy, happy. Happy, happy, happy. You went out? Happy, happy. You want some cookie? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Huh? You want to go here? You want to stare at the window? You want to stare at the window? Mwah. Just gave me a kiss. Just gave me a little kiss. Where do you want to go? Huh? You want a cookie? Let me do one. Let me do a cookie for you, okay? I'm gonna do one of these cookies. But I'm gonna crush it for you, right? So don't get too antsy. Sometimes he'll get super irritated with me not just giving it to him directly. Yeah. Want a cookie? I'm gonna get you a cookie. Hello. Hello. Look at that. Wow. You want some pieces? You want some pieces of that? No. Eat that. You can eat that. You're such a messy eater. You're such a messy eater. I'm catching the little bits you're dropping on the ground, you silly birdie. You silly bird. Okay. Now I'm gonna fill this thing for you. A little bit of those walnut bitties, alright? I'm gonna fill them. Relax. Relax, Zoe. You'll be good. Okay, I know you're irritated because you want to eat them. But look at that. Oh, yeah. Let's go put this in your cage for you, okay? Yeah, we're gonna go eat some cookies. Before we eat cookies, let's say goodbye. You say bye-bye. There you go. That counts. That counts. All right. All right. Let's give you cookies. Let's give you some cookies. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good girl. There you go. There you go, Zoe. Yeah. I'll bring you some more even, okay? You be a good girl. There you go. You're a good bird. You're a good bird. All right. Now that he's not on my arm and I have a little bit more mobility, I'm gonna make him a little ice cream as well. No. Oops. ASMR? No. No, I don't do ASMR content. I don't think I can be that quiet. Zoberb does say that. I haven't been stung yet, but the way I dress is probably only a matter of time before they land on my rope to collect pollen. They pissed me off because it's just satin and then sting me. Yeah. Here's hoping they don't. Sam, I shudder to think. She is. Love is true. ASMR content. You want to hear the sounds of nuts getting crushed? If I can hit them. Let's get him some banana. Little bitty of frozen banana. Put some frozen banana in all those crevasses. Every crevasse gets a little bit of frozen banana. Yes, and then I'll cover it in nuts. Oops. Some bitties of nut went flying. This is a bit of a mess, but I'm sure Zoe will love it. Little nutty ice cream. There we go. My hands are a mess, but he's gonna love that. Hey Zoe, I brought you another cookie. I brought you another cookie, Zoe. Here you go. Here you go, Zoe. He's climbing up to his perch because he wants to eat it up high. Good girl. That's a good girl. Enjoy your cookie. Enjoy. Yes. Never too early for a talk. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly like that. That's what she said. TC Latina. Jobot. Yo, Jobot, what's up? I think you're the friend who was here yesterday for our dance stream, right? It's nice having you here, friend. Welcome. Just listening to talk of crushed nuts and bananas and crevasses. It's so weird, Marlon. Yes. Having a bird in your life will do that. You'll have some weird. Just a little bit. Just a bit of weird. Why am I even trying? Who am I kidding? It's not gonna listen to me. There will come a point in your marriage, Jovan, where you will cease to ask questions and simply be happy they haven't set themselves on fire. Yeah, I think that moment might be closer than you realize. Me with my wheel too. It'll be one of those funny moments to me, of me being like all hurt and stuff, and like looking at Joe and going, "Are you angry at me?" And she goes, "No. Why would I be angry at you? You just got hurt." And then 2-3-ish hours pass, and we're laying in bed trying to fall asleep. And maybe she thinks about what she's feeling and she goes, "You know, I think I am a little angry at you." Oh, Sam, I'm very much so stopped asking questions already. Oh, yeah. Love is true. I'll now pull one of these cards, and you friends will tell me when to stop. Whenever you feel the need to tell me to stop, you say stop. You can hit the ooh. Ooh. You haven't had a card pulled yet, Latina friends? You can tell me when to stop. And your actions are you. I hope not. But probably stop. And there it is. Haven't felt anything since. Stop. There you go, the conscious Latina. This is the card you pulled today. It's kind of wild to me how this happens sometimes, where there seems to be a great deal of synchronicity between the clothing that I wear and the colors on the card. This is the card you got. Oh my goodness, I'm nervous. He will judge you based on the card he just drew. Yes, you are being very judged. Yep. Yeah. No, it's yeah. No, it's letting me know. It says here that you're really cool and everybody likes you. That's pretty neat. Pretty ignore me or tell me to shut the fuck up. It's a rite of passage here. This is like an episode of Caroline. As long as you're having fun, dear friend, and that you're feeling like this is a space that values you, that values your unique personal experience. Why does the writing show up backwards in some streams but not in others? It depends on the camera orientation. If I did this and I swapped you around, now suddenly it should be right way up. Flaming tropicals. Flaming tropicals. So I hope that explains some of the weirdness. Why is this thing? Oh, it's standing on my sandal. It looked very not Neville. 8, my lucky number. You like the number 8 as well? Well, and then there's double synchronicity going on here. Let's read what it means, shall we? Zoe, if you're a good girl, I'll bring you more cookies. But you can't scream. You have to use your words. I don't know what that means. All right. Every time I see this card, I think of Carbonate Dancers. I can kind of see it. Flaming Tropicals, just in time for Ultra Weekend. Nice. Nice. TC Latina. How funny how that works out. Synchronicity. Zoe is like, ah. Yes, he's saying ah. He'll say ah, I'll tell you. But I've already had like a moment with him just now, right? So I feel like it's unfair to me that he's screaming. So I will not tolerate it. Makes me laugh every time. I've gotten used to it at this point as well, where it's kind of like cracking me up too. This morning he was just like ripping into it. And then he'll like have these screams that he'll scream. And then you can hear him getting like sick of screaming. And he'll change the way he screams. And like that cracks me up. Like when I can hear him realizing that he's frustrating himself, right? Like I can almost like hear him take responsibility over his own state a little bit. All right, finally I'm gonna read this card. I'll show you one more time. The Flaming Tropicals. And it goes as such. Passion and fire. We here celebrate the vibrant colors and beauty of the exotic tropical flower called Heliconias. Dynamic tetrahedral geometry excites the image and delivers information on many levels. All are surrounded by flames that ignite the fervor of passion. Passion presents many faces. The excitement of romantic love, devotion to a just cause, or eagerness to bring visions into manifest form. It effuses enthusiasm and the passionate embrace of life. At times, passion presents a contrary face. One charged with intense emotions, impassionate reactions can fire outbursts of anger and rage, fuel righteous indignation, and even ignite obsession. Open your awareness and sense the way passion is revealed at this time in your life. Learn to draw upon the fire of passion to fuel your visions and help bring goals to fruition. See yourself embodying the positive aspects of passion with the intention of bringing light to the beauty of your being. Engage the most excellent part of this fiery emotion and use its dynamic power wisely. The reverse meaning goes, ignite the passion of delight in order to bring vitality back to a time of indifference. What a card. Yeah. I think it's good. We definitely have explored what we should. In this space again today, if you are new here, I do one of these live streams every day. Subscribe, and I'll probably see you friends very soon, again tomorrow, if you find yourself here. Sometimes Zoe laughs like an evil villain. I hope you'll get to hear it sometimes. It's true. Last night, me and Joe were chitter-chattering, and then he's just like, you can hear him conspiring. He goes, hear him laughing in the other room. It's like he's definitely planning to murder us. That would be great to hear that. Oh yes, Xiao. I couldn't imagine having such a vocal pet. Oh, interesting. Thank you for the card. Thank you for telling me to stop. Appreciate your friends' influence in this moment in my life. I'll see you again real soon. No, I haven't shown you a flower. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, my battery is very low. This device just turned itself off next to me. Re. That's some re. It had 3% battery. Where did it go? Where did you go, 3% battery? I didn't even use you. Why did you lose battery percentage? Great card. It was a good one. I guess you friends will just have to go and subscribe to my Patreon. Nudging, nudging. If you want to see the flower, because I couldn't show you even if I wanted to. Why do you kids never charge your devices? Because this one lasts long enough usually. It usually lasts like 3-ish, 4-ish days. So I don't charge it every day. And because I don't charge it every day, sometimes it's not charged. I mean, it doesn't happen a lot. I think it's only happened twice on stream ever since having this device that it didn't have any charge in it. But nudging, nudging, go and check out the Patreons. Only for $1. $1 a month. You get to see at least a new work of art every day. All right. You don't even have to look at it for long. You can just look at it in passing. You can just sign up for the email notifications and get a little email of something pretty. I don't even write too many words these days, so you won't even get overwhelmed by information. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me. Take a big breath and a sigh of relief. Maybe you friends can let me know. Do you want some kalimba? Tell me a word in Afrikaans, please. Wat 'n woord wil jy hê moet ek vir jou vertel? Daar's soos baie woorde in Afrikaans. Hier is 'n paar van hulle. Ek kan Afrikaans praat met jou net vir 'n oomblik. As ek te lank aangaan, dan gaan mense nie verstaan wat ek hier sê nie. Is that adequate? Is that enough? Sending you love. Asseblief. Asseblief. Asseblief means please. Please. Please tell me a word in Afrikaans. Maybe I can tell you asseblief. Asseblief means please. Asseblief. Asseblief. The way that Joe typed it. Asseblief, ja. If you haven't seen the video by Kud, K-U-D, called Aandacht, A-A-N-G-T, I think, you should do yourself a favor and have yourself scarred. It's pretty funny. Dankie. Dankie dat jy hier was saam met my. Thank you for being here with me. Are you into soccer, bro? Into soccer? I couldn't say. I couldn't say that I am into soccer, Mr. Wonderful. I never really got into sports much. But I can still have fun spending time with friends. You know? Yes, I have understood some of that. It isn't that far from English. I think there's a lot of context clues that you can pick up on. So, nog een keer sal ek sê, dankie dat jy so was saam met my. Dat jy 'n bietjie van jou tyd gegee het aan my om 'n bietjie van my tyd te gee aan jou. Ek waardeer dit baie en ek sal jou môre weer sien. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow again. Thank you for giving me some of your time, for allowing me to give some of my time to you. Lol, I'm going to scar myself. Dude, like you'll it's funny. Tomu Karm, K-U-D, that's the artist or the channel name, K-U-D, and then Aandacht. Like K-U-D, you type in K-U-D into YouTube, and then A-A-N-D-A-G-T. Kud Aandacht. Technically, they're Dutch, right? So not exactly Afrikaans, but I understand, or because I speak Afrikaans, I understand Dutch enough to be able to keep up with the conversation. And that's a Dutch channel, and it's hilarious. Like it's really, I love their content. It's kind of not kid friendly, so don't show it to your children, but it's funny. It's pretty, it's pretty freaking hilarious. It's like my kind of humor, a little bit. I appreciate you, friends. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon. All right, tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Love to you. It's really a melting thing. I appreciate you for melting here with me, friend. Until we do some more, melt mores tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, Mr. Wonderful. Love to you, friends. See you soon.